Diffley, how are you both? Why is that funny? Why is he funny?
We're just rehearsing together, and we were disagreeing a bit this morning, but it's fine. I'm just laughing.
And our disagreements are always very much.
Yeah.
They're not really disagreements.
So that's why you're laughing, because I said, how are you both
How
together?
are you?
And you're like, we've just had a fight.
There must have still been a tension there, yeah. So we didn't do that.
That's what happens.
Yeah, thank you.
When you live together and when you work together, it's intense, isn't it?
In the last 10 years?
Brilliant. Oh God. Yeah. So I feel a little bit overwhelmed because all of a sudden last week after our rehearsal, I sort of went, oh, I need to process all this material that they've sent me. And a piece started to emerge and I was very excited. But then it was everything. It was that. Then everything came online on the website. Now the interviews and the artist talks, all of a sudden I would just be like, oh, this is like no longer this like little thing that I'm doing with them. It's moved on to the next level. Anyway, everybody, this is Rita speaking here today. And I look exactly the same as I do every single video. My hair is pinned up top, black hair. I always wear black, and I always wear this really lovely jeans like apron, which I once got from a shop called Muji. And I love them. I have loads of them. I don't always wear the same one. I have lots because they were once part of costume for another piece. So that's me, everybody. Over to you both.
Good afternoon. I'm Julie. I've got a yellow top on, blue glasses, grey hair. I'm sitting in front of the fire. I'm a 50-year-old white woman sitting in front of the fire in our bakery, and the fire is burning. And it's kind of the weather's got a bit cool here now, so I'm quite enjoying the heat from the fire.
Hi, I'm Joe. Yeah, I'm a white man, 50-year-old, and going way what hair left. I'm wearing a dark top. This week we've no props out in front of us at all because it's going to be all about Rita.
Oh
and
dear.
we have the fire, and yeah, as always, that man in the little picture behind us is Alan Scott, and yeah, all we have is a cup of coffee and a glass of water.
Brilliant. So do you want me to, I know I've sent you a photo of the bread I made last week, but shall I just share it with everybody?
Please.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. So everyone, as you may remember, my task from last week was to make the common loaf, and I did. And here is one I made earlier. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Fantastic, bravo.
Now, I was very surprised at that it rose. I mean, it's not, I think it could have been a bit higher, but it did rise. And the taste was amazing. It was so tasty.
That's good, great. And like, isn't that amazing? As I was saying, you turned grain into flour, and then flour, water, and salt into a loaf of bread in that time. And that's just amazing to be able to do that without any other inputs from other outside sources, whatever. You just were able to do that yourself and turn that into a loaf of bread to be able to eat and nourish North. And that's an amazing achievement. And how do you feel? Proud?
I felt really, really proud, really proud. And yeah, it was just really, really, it's so tasty, really lovely. So yeah, and so I did I also did the other thing that you asked me to do last night, which is to refresh the starter.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just switch off my emails. So I did that, and it last night before I refreshed it, it smelled really vinegary, a bit too much. But now it's a bit less vinegary, but still a bit vinegary.
And how does it taste?
Oh, quite vinegary.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
No, it's just still it's fairly well fermented, and because it's been in your fridge for a week, it'll be vinegary. Yeah.
Okay.
And, yes. So now your task this week is just going to be do it again, make another loaf of bread.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah. And then next week the same will be the same again. You're just going to make another loaf of bread.
Oh, that's great.
And then next week you'll be doing it with intention. So you'll have to have thought of somebody beforehand and be making them a loaf of bread. But this week again is just for yourself.
Okay.
Just to be able to. So this is just about skilling up. Last week you just tried to do it for the first time.
Okay.
This is about skilling up, bring a little more attention to your folds. Now you know that you can do it, and just doing it again.
And Joe, can I make? No, I can't make two, can I? Because I haven't got enough starters, so I just have to make one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can always make one today, make one tomorrow, or refresh it now and make it tonight.
Yeah.
Put them in the fridge and bake it tomorrow morning.
Okay. So even though I refreshed the starter last night, does that mean I have to make it today, or can I make it tomorrow, or do I refresh?
You have to refresh it again today to use it tomorrow.
Refresh it again today to use it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I do that, that means I add another 75 grams of flour, 75 grams of water.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I could bake 2 loaves at the same time?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do that then. So refresh again today, and then tomorrow 2 loaves. So that means I follow the YouTube recipe exactly with the measurements that you've got there.
No, because you'll be making 2 800-gram loaves.
Okay, so follow my written recipe, but just double it.
Just double it, yeah.
Okay, right.
Or
Written
follow the YouTube recipe, make the loaves. Yeah, whichever you
recipe. And then my other question is, what can I do to make it rise a little bit more? I mean, it wasn't flat, but it wasn't like yours.
The more you refresh the starter, if the conditions are perfect, you get it in 1 week, maybe 10 days. And usually after about 6 weeks, the starter will be as lively as it's been if it's been done for years.
Oh.
So the more you use it, the livelier it's going to get as it builds up that ecosystem. So it's just not good. Yeah. And they'll just get bigger as you do them. And as you're stretching, getting it tighter, just how you fold the dough with a bit more intent and purpose, you know.
Okay.
And just more practice, they'll just start
Okay.
getting a bit more.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll refresh it again tonight. I'll make 2 loaves tomorrow, and then I'll send you pictures, and hopefully they'll be a little bit higher. Oh, the other thing I want to ask you is there were a lot of holes in the bread. It was a very, like when you sliced it, there was like holes. What does that mean?
Did the holes go all the way through the loaf, or were they roundy holes?
So when you slice it, there was like an oval shaped hole, and yeah, it was through like that.
It went all the way through the loaf.
I think so.
Yeah. So you baked off the loaf before it wasn't fully proofed before you put it in before it had risen.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
So let it rise more and become softer before you put it in.
Okay. Great. Sorted. We'll let you know how I get on.
Sure. And if you can show me a picture when you cut into it. When you cut into it, take a photograph of the crumb next time.
Take a photograph of
The crumb. That's the center of the look.
the
Crumb.
the
No crumb?
outside.
Pardon me?
The outside.
The outside is the crust,
Yeah.
and the inside is the crumb.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, so next time cut it and take a picture of it and show it to you.
Yeah, so I'll be able to tell you exactly what's going
Okay.
on. What's inside.
Fab. All right. Brilliant. Great. So, should we talk dancing?
Yeah, that's
Okay, so yeah, so I wasn't really expecting to write that spreadsheet in such detail. But once I started, I was like, oh, this is all just appearing to me, so I'm just going to do it. And then I thought, oh, I might as well organize this in rehearsals. But then I was worried, is this a bit overwhelming to you both to see, or is it actually quite useful to see it like that?
I think it's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So I haven't yet watched what you just sent me, so I thought I would do that in real time.
Yep.
And then, but just the first things I did watch yesterday. So Julie, with the head on the wood, were you trying to, I suppose, answer the questions that I was posing to you? Where does it come from? What is it? Okay. And can you tell me some of the discoveries that you made in terms of that sequence and how you feel about it?
So I kind of felt like it was very much about the relationship of the back of my head with the timber.
Yeah.
And oh, are you still there?
That, yeah,
Oh,
can you see the spreadsheet? I'm just wanting to highlight
Oh yeah, sorry.
that.
Yeah, so I felt like it was about the relationship of the back of my head with the timber. And so I just started thinking, well, what if I started that relationship in the bakery and slowly made my way back to the timber?
Yeah.
So that was kind of the answer to what is this about? And then, and you said, where does it start? You asked me, where does it start? And I was like, oh, maybe it starts in the bakery.
Nice.
And then now I have to say, I don't know if I turned into Narcissus.
You don't know what? Sorry.
If I turned into Narcissus. You know, Narcissus was a Greek god that.
Oh yeah.
Reflection, because I was interested. Excuse me. And just playing around with Joe was doing something else, he was working, so I was on my own and I wanted to put a tripod up, but I couldn't because we had loads of deliveries in front of the bakery and I couldn't move them on my own.
Yeah.
So I ended up, I was found the relationship with myself, what I was dancing and the camera quite interesting. So I was playing around with that relationship, as well as with my head and the back of the timber. But then I don't know. So it's funny. Then I was watching them afterwards and I was like, that was interesting. But it's always difficult to watch myself because I'm reliving the experience that I'm watching as well. So there's loads of stuff going on. Then when I started watching it with Joe, I was like, oh, I don't know how interesting that is. Have I just gone off on one? I was thinking of Narcissus. I was like, I'm just enjoying watching myself dance around. But it's just like, is there anything, there is interesting stuff there. But so now I'm thinking I should probably need to work. It would be good to do it with Joe filming.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Going on.
Yeah.
And then I started to notice, like, we cleared out the bakery because I had to do a virtual talk about the bakery yesterday outside the bakery in the woodshed. So we cleared the whole place off, which was great. So then I noticed the texture of the rope and the wood, and there's actually a lot of textures going on there. So so I don't know, what do you see when you watch them? Is it very interesting?
I think that it would be good for us to know. I think it'd be good to try it with Joe filming you. I think it could be an interesting way to shift the work from the inside to the outside of the bakery, potentially. I don't know what this is with your head against the wood, but there's something about it that I found really interesting the first time you sent it to me, because it felt like you were trying to explore the different textures, and some of the logs are more forward, some are more back, and you were exploring that with the back of your head, and that was interesting to me. And also because it's such a gorgeous shot, just the woods. But so I think maybe, and I also, and so I think maybe it's about trying it with Joe holding the camera as a way to exit from the inside to the outside space, and then you, Julie, your only job is to walk backwards, feel the, open the door, all this thing about keep looking at the camera, but walking backwards, and maybe feel even where the wood is, and then just explore that. And then we will know if there's anything in it, I think.
Yeah, because I don't want it to get too like, it's like
I'm just feeling the wood.
Yeah, it's just like, that's not interesting. So, yeah, and then I think there's something else. I think I need to set up some line or thread of choreography for myself with it, not in terms of what I'm doing, but how I do it. So whatever that through line is, whereby, and it could be geographical, where I hit that point, hit that point, hit that point.
Yes.
And I'm aware of something to do with levels or something. Or so I think I need to just bring a few other elements in for me to tighten it up.
Yeah.
It needs to be, because it's still at the kind of exploration stage. So it just needs to be tightened up, and there needs to be a thread there. Yeah. That I'm attached. Yeah, that I'm moving along. Yeah.
So in a very task-based way, these are my points, isn't it? So I am now feeling the door opening, and I'm mapping the space behind me as I'm walking back. And once you know that, you'll know exactly what the space is. And I think, I suppose, the same with the head. I don't think it will become like I'm just feeling the wood with my head thing. If there's a clear task you give yourself, which I don't know what it is, but if it's like, I need to move 5 logs, I need to fill 5 logs to the left or something like that, or to the right, and then it'll just look like you're trying to accomplish something, and then but the movement of the head and the neck is beautiful, but you're just trying to accomplish something rather than going like that. Okay, great. All right, so if you try that this week, and then see how that feels.
I looked at my writings.
Oh yes, tell me about those.
Nothing. Like they're all like, I was out in the winter when it was really cold, and when I looked at it all, it was just it just feels like it's relating to a completely different thing. It's not relevant to what we're doing here. They're nothing. I didn't connect with any of it in terms of what we're doing here, and it's a lot of it's very raw as well, and it would need quite a lot of work. So I didn't feel that. I wanted to check it out and have a look. But I don't feel that any of it's relevant to what we're doing here.
Fine. Okay, let's go with that.
Cross that off. Yeah.
And Joe, did you get a chance to, I don't know, maybe you have sent it to me now. The idea of, Joe, when you're baking, I know you often have the radio on and you're listening to podcasts or to music.
Yeah, you were saying about at the time, at 7 o'clock, what happens? At 7 o'clock, it goes from listening to the comedy, whatever the show is on Radio 4, and then The Archers starts. I usually turn off the radio. Sometimes listen to it, And so it's not really, or else we're having dinner around that time. Like I do that's specific because at 6:30, it's the only time that there's a bit of rest, light entertainment on Radio 4. So I usually turn it, whatever the comedy thing is there. That starts at 6:30. So 7 o'clock, yeah, it's usually I usually people turn off the radio. It's because it would be coming towards the end of my kind of making and baking day. So it wouldn't be a very active. I might be baking off my last batch or something like that. It's not a very, getting music playing, trying to be very active. It's usually wind it down. And I don't put on some nice calm down music or anything like that.
Okay. So what you've just said to me is what happens for you every Saturday at 7 o'clock.
Saturday, I'm never in here. I'm cooking dinner and we're probably having dinner on a Saturday.
Oh, nice.
7 o'clock.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So on Saturdays, you don't bake.
No.
You're just having a life, which is good.
Well, we're also teaching as well.
Yeah.
We teaching quite a lot on Saturdays. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
We'd always be gone by 7 o'clock. So
all right. Okay. Yeah. So Joe, even when on your baking days, which are 2 or 3 times a week, you would be finishing your baking day by 7 o'clock. You would be wanting to be finished. Is that how you do it?
Well, I might have 1 or 2 loads left to go into the oven, but all the mixing and shaping and all that. So it's kind of coming to the end. Although we still have all our packing and things cleaning up to do after that. But it's a bit of a kind of a disjointed, and it's dinner time, so I'd be either in or out of the house or something. It's
okay.
Yeah.
What is interesting is whenever I'm in the bakery, it's always silent. So when I come, like Joe is listening to stuff all day long, and I come in and out to talk to him about different things.
And I turn it off.
And I find it very difficult to have that noise on and talk to Joe at the same time. But also when I'm in here packing bread in the evening, and we're both in here packing bread, it's normally, I just find it too tiring in the evenings then to have music on and be doing a task, because I've been working all day and then I'm in here in the evening, we've done dinner, and then we come back in here after dinner and we pack the bread. And by that time of the day, like we chat a little bit, but we also have to concentrate on what we're doing. But like,
for me, the music that plays is to quieten down my head. So you kind of get more into a zone, so it's much easier to focus on what's going on.
Yeah, I understand that. I do the same.
Putting music on, then there's no distraction here. You just get into that.
I understand.
We're in a space.
Yeah.
We're like that. We're trying to collate the stuff. We're doing the thinking bit later on. We don't have music on, or having conversations.
Yeah.
Music on or like that. Music is very much
Okay. So this helps me. Go on, Julie. Go on.
Yeah, because when I come in to talk to Joe, we have to figure things out, and I always say, "Well, this has come up. What are we going to do about that?" So we have to really focus and think and sort things out. So then I can't have music going on the radio as well, because it's just too much. Yeah.
Okay.
And when I'm working and stuff like that, or scoring, no one's allowed talking.
Okay. Okay.
Too focused. Kind of what's going on. You have to bring your attention to. I have to bring my attention to whatever's going on in front of me. Blank out everything, but so like that. If Julie wants to talk or somebody wants to come in, I have to stop. Like, okay, what are we doing?
Okay, so let me get, this is useful because I'm getting to know the soundscape of the bakery, which is great. So this is my question and my thinking. My question is, what is the soundscape of this work when it gets broadcast? And now I was thinking whether it would make sense to have a moment. I don't know when, not throughout the whole thing, but maybe at the beginning, I don't know, at some point, where the radio is on and what happens to be on is on as a kind of background noise, if that is something that is obviously part of what happens in the bakery. And I was thinking whether it would be interesting to, if you happen to respond to it, but not make it a thing. It's not a task. Not now. This is the moment where the radio's on, and I, Joe, need to respond to the radio. Not in that way. Only if it happens. So that's a possibility for a soundscape. How do you feel about that? And do you see other possibilities?
So I have one album that I put on to get me into that, and one track from a different. So if I'm going off distracted on something and I have to get into focus and speed up, I put on the Cosmic by LCD Sound System.
Oh,
you know LCD Sound System?
No, but let me Google it now. Let me find it now, and let me.
And the track on it would be but it's the Crass remix, and it's quite long.
Okay, so let me put this LCD Sound System, and it's called Oh Yeah.
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 And it's the Crass remix.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Crass version.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do I need to share? Tell me if you can hear this, or maybe I need to share screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Joe, are you saying that that's one of the tracks that you put on? That means that your mind is not doing any thinking. It helps you actually just focus on what it is that you're doing, and it's one of those tracks that helps you do that.
Yeah, if I have to, so it will be a conscious get into the zone kind of thing.
Okay.
Instead of other music might be just background music just to play.
Yeah.
So if I put that on, it's kind of because it finishes off really fast as well. So it builds up fast and fast. So it kind of and then by the end of it,
Okay.
So that would be a conscious thing I'd use.
Okay. All right. So I need to go and check copyright rights.
It's actually
to play this, but would you both be interested? I mean, let's not fix anything now, but in exploring this as a kind of background for a particular section?
Yeah.
That be okay?
A little bit, because it's a very long track, you'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so that's good. So let me go back to the spreadsheet. So we talked about that one, and then we were just down here, we were just here. Oh no, we've decided no to Julie's text, and we've just talked about the soundscape a little bit, so that's good. Before I go and look into your videos, do you have any thoughts about the blackboard? Is that the one outside the bakery? Is that something that you want to use, or does it feel like not necessary?
At the moment, it doesn't feel necessary, but I have it in the back of my head.
Okay.
That it's there.
Okay.
And it would seem that we're talking about it, that it would be another thing, it would be another element.
Yeah.
That we haven't really explored yet. You know,
exactly.
It doesn't naturally fit into what we've been doing at the moment. It would be, let's look at this now and then see.
Yeah.
So the mic.
Exactly. I have a feeling with all these things, Joe, I have a feeling that, there's obviously many more pieces in one location. There's not just one, and there's things there that will probably you won't use, but maybe one day both of you will take forward as your own work. You know, so they'll become a piece of art at some other point in the future. But okay, it's there at the back of our minds. We're not going to further explore it. If there's a clear reason why it should be used, it will be forbidden. So, okay, great. Okay. Okay, so.
Yeah, there is one thing that came up with us today. So Owen was filming me yesterday for something, and he was using 4G outside, and then he couldn't come into the bakery because it cuts out. So we haven't got very good phone reception in the bakery. So we just realized that if we're in and out of the bakery with a phone filming, you can't get the Wi-Fi outside, and we can't really get. Well, we haven't tried it.
It doesn't. It's not great.
It's not great.
So like if I'm on, it's like with the phone, you know. So if I go outside and I turn Wi-Fi off and go into data, it's fine. I can get good signal for whatever outside, and then but once we're in here, it has to go onto the Wi-Fi that we have. So that transition, so there could be a break in transmission or but as we transmit. But what was coming up to me after thinking about it, so this would be something to talk to
John.
John?
Yeah.
Whether if we have different cameras, so if we have a camera in here,
That's
you know,
true.
so the one that's outside is outside and it stays out there, so
idea.
it stops out there, and then
So there's
if
no
we go
transition.
camera 2, blink, and the
Yeah.
one that's indoors, and so that would be connected up to the feed anyway, and then
Yeah.
if we transition back out, it goes back onto camera 1 or whatever, you know, so
Yeah.
that there's
Yeah.
two. If he can do that, if he just switch to that camera, then we mightn't have that break in transmission, you know. As it's
Okay,
moving from
yeah.
one.
Good point. The other thing that John is looking at is, I don't know what it's called, but apparently there's like an internet, a portable internet
Dongle.
thing. Yeah, like a portable one that you just place outside or inside, like near your phone, and it's its own internet source, and it's right there. And he said if we need to buy one of those, we'll just buy one of those and have it. So one solution or another would be the solution for it. So as soon as we know a little bit more, we'll bring John in even before the tech rehearsal to make sure we've got all the kit that we need, and then we tech it, and then we iron up. So, but good to know that.
Yeah.
Or dongle. Okay, so what did you send me this morning then?
So
First bit is the wood going into the oven.
yeah, do you want to talk about that? So that basically, you'd asked Joe to explore the sounds that the putting the timber into the wheelbarrow and stuff.
Yeah, we like the sound is great. We like the sound, the kind of thing, but not so because we were where that would go. We have it in the scene, the piece, you know. So if we have it coming in and don't want to describe the piece too much, so we in case you know. Yeah. But and then it's going into the bit where we're having wood going into the oven. But for me to be putting wood into the bar, it's very literal.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really appear, that kind of literal. Oh yeah, they come in and he put the wood in and they bring the wood. That kind of story isn't really that interesting for me.
Okay.
In that way, and just
it is for me because I don't do it, but that's what Joe does all the time.
Okay, I see.
Because I was like, oh, that's really good. And Joe's like, no, I do that all the time. It's too literal. So you'll see that in the video today.
Okay. So I tell you what, I think what's best, instead of using time now to watch it, I'm going to watch those videos and get back to you on email, because I actually would like to try out some directing now with the other materials. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But because you'll see in them there isn't much sound. So whether there's another part, you know, later where we can bring in, because it is a nice sound, the wood on the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that outside, whether that can be brought in somewhere else. But it was just, as I was saying, there was too much of a literal narrative of
Sure.
you know, putting the wood in,
Yeah.
bringing it in.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I would like to revisit like week 1 or week 2's improvisations around packing bread and the thing. Before we do that, in the spreadsheet, I wrote 2 options, one with actual bread and objects and one without. But then after I sent it to you, I reminded myself of a conversation we had like earlier as well around art and food and waste. And so I wanted to propose to you that maybe we don't use actual real dough and real bread, because then that'll become waste. You know, we're using food just for the purposes of art, and then there's wastageness with that. How do you both feel about that?
Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay, good.
So.
Ethically, I feel it's more like where we've been going. So, okay.
Also, I quite like the idea of like, this is very obviously a bakery.
Yeah.
But I quite like the idea that we don't have any bread or dough in the piece.
Yeah.
Because we're just doing something else. So.
Yeah.
Okay, great. It's a little bit like when Joe says, I want to be dressed in a different way than the way I'm dressed in here. It's like we're constantly juxtaposing. It is a bakery, but we're juxtaposing the 2 things. We're not going with the obvious thing. Okay, great. Right. Could I try something? Julie, could you stand behind the table like you usually do, like you did in the first improvisation? And Joe, could you move away and just place yourself, maybe remove the logo from the proofing oven so I can see the reflection, and just place yourself there so we can find out if there's something in this or not.
Should we move the camera a bit so you can see the whole of the prover?
No, I actually like just seeing one, just one. Yeah. Joe, if you come, where are you? Yeah, okay. Joe, can you see your reflection, or is it only me?
I can see the camera.
You can see the camera,
yeah.
But I can see your reflection.
Yeah, because that's what we're seeing. Yeah.
And do you have access to seeing what you're doing? So if I ask you to lift your right hand up.
Well, I can now, but now Julie.
Oh, all right. If you turn that.
If I turn the screen, because we're not using. Yeah, whatever. We can.
Okay. Okay, Joe, can you just stand there for this first tryout? Don't do anything for now, if that's okay. And Julie, can I check with you, when you first did this improvisation, what was the narrative, like the task you gave yourself?
It's packing the bread into paper bags and putting labels on the bread bag.
Okay. And then did you consciously give yourself the task of, if things move out of mimetic movement into abstract, I'll go with it? Or did you just do it and then you felt it and then you responded to it in the moment? How was it?
No, I'm just laughing at myself because I go off on things very quickly. I start with something and I just go off into anything.
Okay,
so
great.
Basically, I'm thinking about doing something really particular with my fingers. And then I was noticing my relationship to the table in terms of, like, I'm playing around with my perception of time and space in relation to that. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm playing around with my perception. So and I do lean down and put the bread in crates, so that's part of it as well. But I'm just I'm just playing around with the timing and the spacing of it, and just noticing how it's changing all the time.
Okay.
And, yeah.
And remind me, this notion of playing with perception of time and space, because you've mentioned this to me before. It's originally from a practitioner. Who is it from?
Yeah, so it's kind of a practice that I learned from Deborah Hay. So it's just,
Okay.
it's a what if question. And it's what if every cell in my body at once had the potential to notice the uniqueness and originality of time and space.
So if that is what you were doing, that really worked for me. So could I ask you to just again give yourself that what if question, and then just go into the improvisation,
Yeah.
so I can observe? Okay. And Joe, if you can just be facing the proofing oven, yeah, so I can just see it like that. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Should I take this blouse off?
Up to you.
It doesn't matter. Well,
It doesn't matter.
I do want to wear a short top when I'm doing this.
Okay, but for now it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Cool.
No.
Okay. Not as in a short top, as in short sleeve.
Not a crop top.
No.
Okay, ready, and okay, sorry, stop.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Can you take 2 steps to your left?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, great. Could you do it again from there? And go. Beautiful. Okay, you can stop for a second. Joe, could we try? So it's again the same thing. And Joe, what if at some point when you see one of Julie's movements, which speaks to you physically, you also do it, but you just do that one movement, almost like your body is taking snapshots, like photographs of what Julie does. So you just do that one movement.
I do it for the prover.
For the reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And here we go. Okay, and stop. Yeah, it's a great idea, but you don't see the reflection well enough to be able to perceive this concept.
And
Yeah.
if it was the big movements that you see me moving my hands now, can you see that?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's still yeah, maybe there's
Fine,
nothing.
sideways.
Okay, yeah, let's see. Julie, do you mind?
I'm conscious now, yeah, that we're getting a really nice reflection on it coming in because where the windows are at the time of day, but the sun will be quite high at 7 o'clock
Yeah.
for the month's time.
It'll be coming in from a different side.
Coming in from a different angle.
Yeah.
We'll have our reflection, but we could have lights.
Yeah.
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 It'll still be there. I just don't know. Something has wrong there to be.
Yeah, good point. I think let's see if there's anything in this, and if there is, we will go through the trouble of thinking about all that and what time of day. If there isn't, we just drop it. and we
You
don't.
see my movements better now?
I can see it better now, yeah. So Julie, can you take a step to your left again?
I move back so you see more of my arms rather than.
Yeah, perhaps. Keep playing with it, Joe, as you keep responding to Julie, and then keep playing, like going forward, sideways, so I can have different views. And Joe, can you do it? So it's an instant photograph. It's a snapshot, like a 1 second snapshot. So if you can see me in the camera now,
Yeah.
I suppose I'm looking is if Julie. So Julie, can you do something from your improvisation? And Joe, look at me. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Joe?
Yeah.
So I do a snapshot, I stay, and then when Julie's body speaks to me again, I do it and I stay. It's almost like a flash, like a, yeah. Okay. All right. So, and take a step to your left, please, Julie. That's it. Great. And here we go. Okay, and stop. Thank you very much. Could we swap and have Joe and Julie in? Yeah. Yeah. So
I was trying to do that.
Yeah. So could we do exactly the same thing? So, but unlike Julie's, what I would be interested in seeing from you is this idea of you starting very mimetically, like as if you had the dough, you're just doing it as if like purely functional, and then gradually start exploring that shift in weight and start asking that question, where could this go? So you do get gradually more and more abstracted because your movement is repetitive. Okay, and breathing in and breathing out and go. Okay, great, you can stop. Very nice.
Where do you want me?
To start, maybe there. No, take a step to your left. Yeah, there. Okay. Breathing in and breathing out and go. Okay, brilliant. And pause. Great. Good. Nice. Okay, brilliant. Okay, you can stop. So let's go from here again. Breathing in and go. Beautiful. Carry on playing. This is gorgeous. Okay, great.
Okay.
I'm trying to get over here. You never go behind.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get over here. You keep pushing me back.
Sorry, I'm
Hi, Julie. You need to keep going. Beautiful. Okay, keep going. Every time there's a pause, keep going. Ready and go. Oh my God, this is so good. At any point, Julie, any point in time, you can steal Joe's movement in real time. You try to kind of do what he's doing, and then let go back to your task. Okay, stop. Okay, brilliant. We've got a nice improvisation structure there, I think.
Great.
Yeah. You know, of course, you both need to play it and find out what it is. I'll write all these things down, all the little rules. Okay, great. But I actually, I think it's really nice. So I'll have a look at that you sent me. But I also love this idea when you kind of choreographically you show a little something, then you move on to something else, then you revisit it. So it's the same but different, and then it develops then. So this Julie doing her solo might be just like here's a little thing,
Yeah.
and then people forget
Yeah.
about it, and then it comes back.
Bring it back
Okay.
in.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this is good. Let me just check my spreadsheet, but I think this is what I wanted to try. I think we've got it. So the way I see this working now is I'll write down in the follow-up email all the rules for the improvisation. You guys just play it. I also look at these films and write some thoughts on them. You guys just play this, and then there's not really any homework, any like stuff to do next week. So next week, I just want to, I mean, if you want, you can send me a video of you playing this structure. But next week, I just, again, want to do more of this with you, live directing, trying things out.
I'll just have a little play on my own with Joe filming me and the
head, yeah, and the head, yeah.
Work out what that is.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, do that too.
Yeah.
And as we say, for next week with the bread, it'll be again, you baking again. So you're skilling up at this point now. This is what I was going to do. Just so that it won't take up a large part of
the lesson.
this session as well. We'll have time for
yeah, which is working out perfectly because you know, like you have less time and I need more time. So how did this happen? It's all working out. So yeah, it's all coming. Great. Thank you very much. This has been a great rehearsal. I'm glad we're here, like properly looking at stuff.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nita.
Bye.
Slán.
Oh, Slán.